Shall we begin?
Hey everybody, we're here at the Vicino Brewery Canteen. Alright, we're brewing the Wet Mountain IPA today from Vicino. It's an award-winning beer. It's won 2 Great American Beer Festivals and a World Cup medal. It's been with Vicino since '94 and is a combination of 3 caramel malts and base malt. I'm setting up my vacuum, which is going to suck up the grain dust as I drop bags of grain into the mash tun. Put my ruler in here as well. I need exactly 25 inches of water. 25 inches of water is based on the pounds of grain, which for this is somewhere around 550 pounds. So we're doing a 2.5 gallons, 2.5 quarts per pound of grain. In 12 bags of 2-row and 2 rows of base malt, a foundation. Think of it as a blank canvas. It adds all the sugars and some maltiness and the color, and a lot of that caramel or nutty or any kind of flavor you add to a beer comes from the specialty malt. So the 12 bags of 2-row plus 1 bag of specialty malts for this IPA. What I'm trying to do now is just get all the grain wet, make sure it's underneath the water and that there's no clumps. As the wort runs out of the mash tun, we're going to take all the wort. It's going to start running dry. I need to displace that wort with hot water and rinse all the sugars out to be as efficient as possible. So what I want to do is cover the bed with about 1 inch of sparge water, and I want to leave it there. So I'm going to try and adjust my valve so I'm taking the wort out at the same rate that I'm adding sparge water to the top of the bed. The next step is underletting, which is adding hot liquor to the bottom of the mash. It's going to help push the mash up, raise it, so that when we start drawing water or wort in from the bottom, we're not drawing in a bunch. We've been boil offing. You can see the wort is cleared up. There's no husks or grain particles in it. It's a lot darker because we've now drawn in more sugary content. The specific gravity of the wort here is heavier. I'm going to start filling the kettle up. And then you'll see the wort coming into the brew kettle. Right now I'm adding the calcium sulfate, which is gypsum, and that's going to add fullness to the beer and help accentuate the hop. Same beer. To make the same beer every time, I want to take a gravity reading, which is telling me how much sugar content I have in the wort. This will equate to how much alcohol I get in the beer. To be consistent, I want the same umbrella. Hops look like small pine cones hanging off a vine, and to process them and preserve them for long periods of time, they're pelletized and then packed on CO2. Bullshit! So that's what they look for. Hops contain alpha acids, the primary bittering content, and they also have aroma and flavor. So the longer you boil hops, the more flavor and aroma get boiled off and you're left with the bitterness. When you taste the beer, the bite and the bitterness you get are from the first hop addition, which is what this is. Now if you watch, it's going to start rising. The wort's trying to, the boiling wort is stabilizing the hop oils, but it's volatile, and you'll see it rise right up to the door. So I've taken the transfer line off the kettle. Our kettle is full now, and I'm going to drain the remaining wort from the mash tun so that I can begin to empty it out and start the second brew today. We have a rancher who picks up all our grain, and so this is the first batch of the day. I'm going to remove all the grain from the mash tun, drain the wort out. It's nice and dry. And voila!
Josue has just completed his first barrel and now working on his second.
Josue, about halfway through.
After we hook up the boiler line, I got to hook up a blow-off bucket for the CO2 to escape. So here's the blow-off arm, there's my bucket. I'm going to go grab a blow-off tube, hook it up to both, and fill my bucket with a little bit of sanitizer. Sanitize everything again.
Why is sanitizing so important?
To control the product, to make the same beer every single time, you want to make sure that you control everything that's making it. The yeast don't have any bacteria competing with them, and that you don't have any kind of off or sour flavors. So anytime you take the cap off, or a clamp, or do anything, you sanitize. Alright, once the beer is done fermenting, which will take 5-6 days, the yeast have eaten up all the sugar and left us the alcohol. There's a little bit of CO2 remaining as well. At that point, what we're going to do is start chilling down the tank. That's going to drop the yeast out and clear the beer up, so when we move it into our cold room for additional fining or filtering, there'll be less yeast to need to filter out. This is where all the beer is conditioned and carbonated. You watch through here, this is called a Grundy. These are Grundys, serving tanks. You can move finished beer into them that's carbonated. We've hooked up our 2 lines, and they will be hooked up to a tank similar to this and transferred in. That's 14 barrels or 434 gallons. So you guys have seen the process of making our Wet Mountain IPA from grain to glass, and the next thing to do is to try it. So let's go up to the bar.
Shall we begin?